Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to Shamanic Sundays. Hi, Pops.
Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Good morning, relatives out there. Great to be here with you. Thank you for joining us for Shamanic Sundays. Would you like to start us off with a morning prayer today?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Great Spirit, great mystery, creator, source of this universe that we're gifted to live in and that lives in us. Thank you for this breath of life that flows in so gently, but with the power of life force energy, kupuri, mana, chi. Thank you for our ancestors. We would not be here without you. We make a home for you here. We remember you here. Gratitude for your lives and prayers for healing of your spirits. If any of you ancestor spirits need healing, it's never too late. And thank you for the ancestor spirits of the land we live on. We remember you here for the indigenous people of the lands where we live. Chumash here in Santa Barbara, Grandfather Simo in the spirit world. And thank you for the gift of our families, our communities, our teachers, our healers, and thank you even for the situations, so many of which are happening in the world now, pushing our buttons that give us the opportunity to see our reactivity to the stimuli. And where it's not skillful reactivity, it's unconsciously conditioned reactivity that creates more suffering. Help us to use those button-pushing situations to wake up and see what we can do in creating a response to them that helps us grow in the ways that contribute to our health and wellness, and the gifts that you give us to develop in this life. We can polish those up to be able to share in healing the sacred whoop and the sacred hoop of life with this precious life that you give us for however long our time is, which starts with right now. Thank you for right now. Oh,
thank you. Thank you for right now.
It's what's happening.
It is what's happening. We are getting ready to go out on Vision Quest, and you're leaving a couple days before me.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah. So,
or Monday morning. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be interesting to talk about life as quest, life as Vision Quest. Oftentimes growing up, this is your 51st year of leading Quest and my 21st year of going out on Quest, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm old enough for that. And Mom often says, well, as I'm home holding down the base, I go through my own quest.
Yep.
And that's always true. And every day, and just our journey in general. I just love to hear what comes up for you with that phrase of life as quest, life as Vision Quest.
Yeah. First, I'll just acknowledge Nicole in this case. Not being able to physically go on quest, but always supporting us from here in Santa Barbara, taking care of the home front when we're gone.
Yeah.
So gratitude to Nicole.
Yeah, she's helping with some family stuff here, and we will miss her. And so grateful for the times that she's been able to go on quest with you, and the times that she and I got to go together. That was pretty amazing. And with Justin too. That was amazing. Super fun. So
you're asking me to tune into the phrase life as quest, life as Vision Quest, and see what comes up for me.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do precisely that.
Okay.
When my daughter says jump, I say how high.
Yeah, right.
So let me listen. Life as quest. Well, quest, the word quest implies an action orientation of seeking something, something that you're trying to find or discover, you're looking for. And so we go on the Vision Quest Monday with 2 days and nights fasting and solitude to open ourselves up for strength, encouragement, guidance, vision, understanding, insight, healing, to help us with our challenges of our lives and in these challenging times. And so we don't have to go on Vision Quest and fast, step out of the comfort zones of our beds and newer toilets and hot water and food in the refrigerator, and go out and spend time in solitude and in bears that go through there, and mountain lions and
What? You
rattlesnakes,
didn't
and
tell me. No.
all these kind of people who live there, and whatever that brings up for us, we're going into their living room. That can produce stress and anxiety, and no eating, and no distractions of the TV and digital, all kinds of stuff, but just self-confrontation, deeper intimacy with the truth of who we are and how we are, and what the spirits there and this place of power give to us, both as testings and as teachings. So all of those are dynamics present on the Vision Quest. And hey, lo and behold, while there may not be bears or mountain lions or rattlesnakes around where you live, wild, quote unquote, wild animals, all the stressor stimuli of in our lives, health situations, financial situations, interactions with people in our families, our communities, as well as course of events happening in the world, all of those continue on every day, 24/7 in one way or another. So we don't have to go out somewhere on a vision quest to work with the challenges that daily life presents us. And I think it can be helpful to look at some of the attitudes and you might say cognitive skills that can be helpful to polish up when one goes out on quest, and how they can apply to meeting the challenges of daily life. So attitudes like what? One is holding the belief that whatever happens or whatever shows up in the course of this day is not by accident, although it might look like it's an accident. But on a deeper level, it's just like when you take a medicine plant in a sacred ceremony, you're not in charge with what's going to come up, but whatever comes up is not by accident. On whatever you see or feel or experience, the medicine's trying to use that experience to open a doorway of awareness, to bring through some information or an opportunity to see something you need to see that needs to be healed or faced or dealt with or transmuted or transformed. It's a vehicle of opportunity, the attitude of seeing the challenges of our lives, of daily lives, instead of a negative framework. This is a disruption, this is a blockage, this is a negation, this is a negative framing of it. If it's showing up, it's not by accident, and it's an opportunity. If I feel triggered by it, my reactivity is triggered by it. That's an opportunity to bring awareness, focus, qualitative, attentive, conscious, skillful awareness to what's the truth of what I'm feeling in this triggered state, and open the doorway of awareness to what's the story, the unconsciously conditioned story that I'm telling myself that was triggered by the stimuli, that may be contributing, maybe causative, and maybe contributing to the suffering that I'm experiencing.
That's I would just pause there, because that's such an important distinction, I think, between what's the truth of my feeling and then what's the story I'm telling myself with that feeling. Because I remember one of the most helpful things that I've ever learned in terms of psychology and therapy and how you're approaching life is that there's no wrong feelings, right? And you can't judge, well, you can, but it doesn't really do any good to judge your feelings or somebody else's feelings. And you can bicker till you're, not here anymore about whose feeling was right or wrong. Or you can accept that the feeling is just the feeling. But then the truth is really, how are we going to respond to that? Right. So in partnership, especially, I've noticed that question of do you want to be right or do you want to be in that peace? Right. So if you stick with the feeling, well, then there's no you're right and I'm wrong. We're both right. We're both feeling, we could be feeling totally different things, but we're both right in our feeling. And then what are you going to do with that to feel peace?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So the feelings are there to help us pay attention to what's important to pay attention to. And if I'm fearful or if I'm angry, in my triggered reactivity, dropping into the reason those feelings are there, they're not there by accident, is because there's some need I have that's really important to me that's not being met. or I'm frightened is not going to be met or taken away. And so let me get back in touch with what's that need for respect, need for feeling safety, feeling cared for, need for security. What's the need inside of me, that the feeling of upsetness triggered by whatever the stimuli of the situation is causing inside of me. And so the feelings, and the stronger the feeling, fear, anxiety, anger, self-pity, whatever it might be, is indicative of, there's some gold here in this situation. This is not happening by accident, and it's not a disturbance. It's really a vehicle of opportunity to wake up. Because on a broader framework, you could say I've been, if I'm triggered in my reactivity, I fell asleep into a constricted understanding and identity of who I am. Who I am is my ego. And my ego is not getting what it wants. Its plans was disrupted. It was changed. It was being blocked or whatever. And so I'm in my reactivity and maybe angry at the person blocking it or the situation or myself or whatever. So it's an opportunity to wake up and look at all that happened is the stimuli of the situation. My reaction to it, my reactivity, unskillful, toxic reactivity response to it is based on a story that I create in my mind and put my belief into. He's bad, she's bad, I'm right, he's wrong. And it just feeds more suffering, more separation. And so it's really a vehicle of opportunity to bring awareness to the underlying dynamics of what's taking place, with an opportunity to wake up and see how I'd fallen asleep in that constricted ego identity and forgotten that, hey, I'm a whole lot more, you're a whole lot more than who we think we are in terms of our ego identities. And there's something here that's taking place that's given us opportunity to wake up to our who and what we really are and our interconnectedness. And how can we create a response to the truth of what's triggered inside of us in a way that opens the doorway to bring through the potential, the potential of why we're together, and whatever that situation is, fullest blossoming, greatest good of a win-win situation. So it opens a doorway for us to explore, after we honor our feelings and understanding and the other person's and where they are, and what the needs are that we're trying to meet, like Rosenberg does with his nonviolent communication. Excellent work. It helps us access, if our intention is to do other than to feed our egos and be right, but to try to create a healing joining in the interaction in the relationship, then let's both of us open our minds, our consciousness to a broader bandwidth for wisdom guidance about how we can create a response to the truth of what's happening in a way that helps both of us, or all of us, to meet our needs as best we can, as compared to, well, I'm just going to use this situation to meet my needs, and I don't really care about the other person or the other who else is involved. Because then it's, even if my ego thinks it's one, there's going to be resentment, there's going to be tension, and it's really going to be a lose situation. So every day gives us opportunity to work for the deeper Vision Quest every day. The drama that's happening in the daily life, the reactivity to it. How can I create and use it all as wasting not even a molecule of what's triggered to help me grow in the ways I want to grow, which self-references back to taking responsibility for knowing the ways we want to grow, the qualities of consciousness and being, and creating a practice, having a practice to help us actualize it. So not just airy-fairy ideas in our head, but if you have these values and these intentions, and you start your day off with some kind of practice that helps you, take that in your conscious mind and really imprint it and send it down in your unconscious mind, so you can go forward to the day. And when those distractions come, disruptions to what your ego wants, you're going to be in a better way to deal and work with them, other than just victim to it. So that's what comes up for me. Use it all. Whatever comes up every day is a vision quest to deeper vision and deeper connection, waking up to the truth of who we are, why we're here, why we're here. I was just a little earlier today talking with two friends who are dealing with the life-threatening situations and not knowing how much longer they can go on, and all the ways they're disempowered by what's happening physically and mentally and everything. And here we are, alive in this moment, and we have the ability to wake up and wise up and live love alive in this moment. We have everything we need to be able to do that in the midst of all of these pressing, demanding, challenging situations. And that's what we're here for, to wake up, wise up, live love now in this moment, which is all we have this day, daily work.
Yeah. Makes me think of one year, I think I was like 16 on this particular quest, if I'm remembering right. And as we were hiking back down, this was up in the Sierras, and as we were hiking back down the trail, coming out of like Cathedral Peak area, we made it pretty far, back into the trails where other people around and stuff, and we passed a couple other hikers, and like they were just so busy looking down that they could like barely even look up. And we kind of we had paused to like let them pass because we were going down, they were going up. And then as I looked out, it was just this, gorgeous vista. And I remember thinking, gosh, what are they missing out on by just looking down so much? And I think that's so often with young people and myself, I'll admit it, today, walking around, with their phones in their hands and looking down instead of like out at the beautiful world in front of us and the possibilities. And so in that moment, I remember the phrase like Vision Quest eyes came to me, that remember to always try to use your Vision Quest eyes, like to look up and try to see the potential and the possibilities. And even when things seem dark, like where could you use your Vision Quest eyes? And that's been such a helpful thing for me throughout my life to when I'm in situations that are really, testing me, challenging me hard, to think of, okay, put on your Vision Quest eyes and what might you see differently?
Open the spiritual eye to see deeper.
Yeah.
Go deeper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is, of course, like another, like plant medicine often can do that. In our quests, we don't use plant medicine. We just be with the plants and the animals and the spirits of the place out there. And as you said, fasting for part of the time. Let's see. Do you want to do a little guided visualization for folks as they, whatever quest kind of experiences might come up for them this week, to open up and try to sink into? I think also really important, and I don't think we mentioned this, but with Vision Quest is starting from a place of gratitude. And the teaching I was raised with is like that you go out on quests to give thanks, actually, is more where you start from. And then when you've given so much that you're like empty, you've like, for me, I do a lot of crying of gratitude, tears, just like overflowing gratitude. And when you've given enough thanks, you might be empty enough to be given back a vision. So going back to that like reciprocal relationship and starting with gratitude, which is why we start every morning with a prayer here.
Yeah, we're going on Vision Quest with the understanding that we live in a universe of cosmic energy, infinite cosmic creative activating energy, even in the vacuum of space where there's nothing happening. The physicists tell us there's particles and antiparticles popping in and out of existence in the vacuum of space. Something's happening there on the invisible level beneath the level of what we can see through our eyes. And so in this universe, this infinite creative intelligence, wisdom, power, intelligence, each direction of this universe, the east where the sun comes up, and the south and the west, the north and below, there's a different energy that comes to us from each direction of the medicine wheel, of the sacred hoop of life. And so going out on Vision Quest is an opportunity on the solitude time is to open ourselves fully to the medicine that comes from each of the seven directions, the seventh being the one in the center in which we're all connected. So invitation to just drop in with your awareness, letting eyelids close down over your eyes and following your breath for a moment or so, just to bring awareness to the sacred gift of being breathed by the universe. noticing your own rhythm, the cycle of taking in the new flow that comes with the breath, and it activates something inside of us called life. And then it releases the breath out, taking energy no longer needed, and then the being present for the still pause, like before the turning of the tide, there's a stillness, and then here comes the next wave of life force energy. And just noticing it with the gift of your awareness, your experience, however you experience being breathed. And as you notice, you bring consciousness to your awareness of being breathed. You're polishing it up. You're refining the quality of your attention. You're refining the quality of your consciousness. And everything we experience is in our consciousness. So the more we can have a quality, attentive, present manifestation of awareness, consciousness of awareness and awareness of consciousness, the richer the potentialities for our lives are, because we're more open to getting the information of what's ever coming in from a vibratory wave of each direction. So you don't have to go out on Vision Quest to access the powers that are coming in from the wisdom universe through each direction. You just, even in your house, what's beneath your house is the earth. What's above the roof of your house, your apartment, whatever, is the sky and the powers that come to us from above. And no matter where you are, there's an energy every morning from the east. The sun comes up and there's illumination and there's energy coming in. So from each direction. So in our daily lives, we have the ability to access those powers and teachings and energy and wisdom that come from each direction. We have the ability to access them even if we're in a building, in a basement with no windows, because the energies are still there. We just have to work a little harder to connect with them. And the key, or one of the keys to opening the doorway of conscious connection, to be able to commune with and attune with those powers coming in from the directions of the medicine wheel, is Kimberly spoke about gratitude. I was meditating on this today, that 3 of the keys to opening the doorway for accessing the wisdom powers of the medicine wheel. And I'm going to be doing a 7-week teaching course starting in April through the Shift Network. And you'll get information about that if you're interested in joining with me for 7 weeks of empowerment work of doing what I'm talking about right now. The way to access those doors consciously is, number one, respect. Number one is respect. Respect for that power that's coming from that direction, power of the East. Bringing respect to that, which entails humility. Letting go of my ego is the most important thing in the world. No, there's some other things a little more important than my ego here. And I want to open to those, because those are, in fact, the life empowering sources of life and creation. So the number one is respect. And then number 2 is appreciation. In our hearts, feeling thankfulness, true thankfulness for that gift that's coming to us, like the power that comes of illumination when Father Sun comes up and cuts through the darkness, and all of a sudden we have daytime and we can see the glories of creation and a new day. So respect for that power, appreciation for it, and then what Kimberly said, gratitude, a physical expression in some way of gratitude to that direction. Thank you. It might be just saying thank you, coming from the heart, so it's not empty words. It might be a song or a chant or your rattle or your drum or a dance or a sound or whatever, but it's coming from your heart of respect and appreciation, and it's expression of gratitude. And so when we do that work, that power that's always being given, it's because we've had to go into our heart to open our hearts to feel and express that gratitude and appreciation, then the doorway to our hearts open and we can receive the gift of power, wisdom, teaching that comes from that direction. That's the way we open the doorway to receive from those 7 directions, sacred directions of the medicine wheel. And we have opportunity to do that every day of our daily lives. We can do it in the car, in the bus, on the way to work, or coming back from the market, or standing in line at the bank, or wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Those 7 powers, those 7 doorways, those 7 portals of the medicine wheel are present. And we have the opportunity, if we choose it, to bring our awareness. Everything starts with intention, to open our awareness, to receive those gifts, to help us in whatever situation we're in that's challenging us, to create a response to it so we use it to help us grow, like I said earlier, in ways that we want to grow. So may it be so for us as we go forward this day, these weeks, and each opportunity that comes in being alive in the day when reframing a distraction or interference or interruption or into, no, this is an opportunity for me to wake up, go deeper, see the role I'm playing in creating my experience. And if that's not skillful and leading to suffering, I've got the power to change it. So let me change it, pull the plug, cut the cord, and wake up, live love now.
All right. I like the part where you were talking about really deep gratitude, enabling you to open your heart to receive. So my prayer for each of you is that in this coming week, you can feel the open-heartedness and beauty of that kind of gratitude amidst whatever else is going on in your quest.
Yeah, so. and I'll be, and I know Kimberly will be, we'll be sending it in this place of power that we're going to be immersed in, opening these doorways of power to flow through us. Going to be sending out prayers, healing and strength for you, appreciation for you, respect for you, and gratitude for your lives, and support for the way you work your challenges to open the doorway to bring through more healing, light, and love in a world that so badly needs it. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's just pause for 30 seconds here or so. And if you are so inclined, put just one or two words in the chat that you would like us to carry out on your behalf, out to the spirits of Rock Point out there in the Mojave, and we'll carry them out for you.
Great idea.
So yeah, just take a minute here.
She comes up with some pretty good ideas here, this kiddo
every
of
once
mine.
in a while. You don't like all of them, but it's okay.
Well, you don't like all of mine
That's
either.
For sure. All right. Thank you. Appreciate folks sharing. Yeah. All right. Have a great week.
Okay. Vaya con Dios.
See you.
Stay open.
With a few more wrinkles and all that from being out in the desert for a week.
Vaya con Dios.
Take care, everyone.